Hello, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to our practice today focusing on the chest and shoulders. So if you haven't checked out the Yin Yoga for leg day, go ahead and check that out on my channel. But this one is for the chest and shoulder days. It's either a pre-workout stretch or a post-workout stretch that you can use to help reduce the soreness and help really move into those muscles in that area and the tissue and the connective tissue in the upper body space. So chest and shoulders, upper back a little bit here. Just one prop today, a rolled up blanket or beach towel. You can use either one. We're gonna roll it up and use it for our first pose, and then after that, we probably won't use it very much. So go ahead and come all the way down onto your back. We're gonna take a supported fish pose to open the chest up. So go ahead and place that right underneath the arms, roll yourself down, and you're gonna wanna be where you're not actually touching the floor with the shoulder blades. We're going to take sort of a Sukhasana or easy seated pose version here. So right leg in front of left. Take your arms out to the side, either straight out, or you can bend the elbows just a little bit. At the start, you may find it's a little bit of a struggle. You feel like you're kind of hanging out in space here. Don't worry, as time goes by, the shoulders will soften, the back will soften, the chest will open. That's really what we're looking for here. Settle into your breath. Now, because this is a pre-workout or post-workout stretch, we're not going to hold these poses quite as long as we would in a longer extended practice. We're just looking to help relieve some of the soreness and to help your weight training a little bit better. Yin is a great complement to weight training, workout days, and to any yang style practice that you have in your life. Now you notice that your shoulders begin to soften closer and closer to the floor. You may even be already touching the floor at this point. If you're not, don't worry, time will tell. Let gravity do its job. I've had a lot of requests for this practice. Just something short to kind of use right after the workout or the day in between workouts. It's a really great way to use that in between your weight training work. Just a couple more breaths here. And then we're just going to switch the legs, staying where we're at in the upper body. We're going to take that left leg in front of the right. Maybe now you can start to take those arms up a little bit higher or bend the elbows a little bit more. In this position, you can really feel the breath. Deepening it, filling the spaces of the chest, side body, shoulders, and upper back. Maybe allowing your breath to extend on the exhale, and that's going to help soften even more, letting everything kind of release the tension. Just a few more breaths. Go ahead and start to stretch those legs out straight. Take your arms up overhead, stretch through your fingertips, stretch through your toes. And then bend your knees, roll over to your right side. We're going to come onto our bellies. Now you can take that blanket out in front to rest your head on. We're going to take twisted ropes here. We're going to take right in front of left first. We're going to wrap those arms in front of us like we're giving ourselves a big hug. Walk the hands out, palms facing up. You can either tuck your chin into the X or rest your forehead on the blanket, or let your cat take your blanket away. Start to lift your head up, walk those hands back in. I'm going to move that blanket off to the side a little bit and just rest your hands out in a cactus position, head on the floor. Then we're going to take your head and turn it toward the left. Take that right hand out to the right and move that elbow out just a little bit further. You're going to walk the left hand in a little bit and roll to the outside of the hip. Now, this may be a little bit much for you, or you may want to go further by dropping that leg back behind you. We're just going to be here for about 5 deep breaths, just opening the front side of the chest, the right shoulder. And then gently rolling back to your belly. Take a breath or two here. And then lifting up, we're going to come back to that twisted ropes with the left hand in front, right hand underneath. Walk those hands out. This side may feel totally different for you, and that's okay. Rest your chin on the X or your head on the blanket. Gently lifting your head, unwinding those arms, pressing that blanket roll out of the way. Taking the arms out in sort of a goalpost cactus position, turning your head to the right this time. And then walking that left elbow out a little bit further away from you. And take those right fingertips to the floor and just roll a little bit over to that left side so you open the left side of the chest. Start to come all the way back down. Rest those arms back down. Very gently press yourself up, especially if you have a kitty on your back. We're going to come into child's pose. So take those big toes together, knees wide, shift the hips back, walk the hands out. And then we're going to walk those hands just flat so the elbows are on the floor just for a few breaths here. Walking those hands out. Coming up on fingertips, you're going to walk your hands way over to the right. So way into the right space, as far as you can. Shifting however you need. Maybe walking those left fingers out just a little bit further. Breathing into the shoulders and the upper back. These last couple of breaths on this side. Lifting up just a little bit, coming back to center. We're going to stay here in the center, walking the hands out, elbows down, and walking those elbows in just a little bit closer toward one another. Bend the hands, put the palms together, and then tuck those thumbs back toward the back of your neck. Walking the elbows further a little bit more. Releasing those hands back down, coming up on the fingertips, walking the hands way over to the left this time. Walking that right hand out just a little bit further. Just about one more minute here. Starting to lift back up, walk those hands back out in front. This time you're going to take your forehead down to the floor or the blanket. You're going to tuck the hands, crisscrossing them underneath you, reaching for both ankles, in between your knees. Just letting the shoulders soften to the floor. Start to walk those hands back out in front, being careful not to disturb your cat. Come all the way into a seat. So we're going to be in the bottoms of the feet together in butterfly. Taking the hands out to the side, you're going to turn the thumbs sort of out to the left and right, hands back behind you. The closer you walk them to each other, the more you're going to feel this in the upper back. The further away, the more you're going to feel this in probably the forearms and the arms. Just gently lift the chest, maybe lift the chin as well. Let those shoulders open and roll back. We don't tend to spend a lot of time working with our forearms and wrists, and this is a great way to kind of include those in your pre or post upper body day. This is like a reverse seal pose. Getting slightly different areas. For these last couple of breaths, maybe drop your chin to your chest. And go ahead and release that pressure by leaning forward a little bit, taking the feet out in front of you and coming all the way down into Shavasana. So for this Shavasana, you can take your feet wide, knees drop together, and just gently wrap right arm under left. And then switching. And if it feels good for you, you can take the arms up overhead, bend the elbows, and just take those shoulders planted to the floor, just for one last chest opener. You can stay in Shavasana as long as you have, and I urge you to stay a little bit longer in this pose, just letting everything soften and release. But if this is all the time that you have, go ahead and take your feet out straight, your arms up overhead, stretch through your fingertips, stretch through your toes, and then roll over to your right side. Slowly make your way back up to a seat of your choice. Go ahead and take your hands to your heart. Peace and namaste. Thank you for joining me for this practice. I hope this helps open up those spaces, really help reduce that soreness. I know that weightlifting for me, this is a great thing to do in between those weightlifting days. So if you have 3 weightlifting days a week, you would every other day switch out the Yin Yoga for leg day, the Yin Yoga for chest and shoulder day, just to kind of help move everything along and open up that mobility. This will help with your weight training as well, giving you a little bit more stability and safety, helping you build some strength down into the deeper connective tissue as well as the ligaments and joints. So definitely use that in between those days. I hope you enjoyed this practice. Please, if you did, click on that subscribe button down over to your right-hand side so that you can get notifications for new videos every single Thursday. I hope you check back often. Please do. If you'd like to join me for more practices, you can take a look at my theyogaranger.vhx.tv. That is my member site that has lots of new videos, a new member video every single week, plus these YouTube videos without ads, along with lots of extras, resources that you can download, journal prompts, live calls every month, and so much more. So check that up. There's a link up above and down below. I hope to see you again very soon.